What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to the LTQ Wrestling Podcast. Me and Tears going to be talking about a lot of wrestling topics today. Hopefully, you guys have been enjoying the content. Been uploading a lot of shorts. We had the short about Joe Hendry signing with WWE. Also had the full video of talking to him, a lot about him going to WWE, what his role might be. Will he be a main event guy there? I have been uploading, that video first to Spotify. If there's anybody who likes to just listen to podcasts, I'm the same way. Shout out to Spotify. When I'm at work, I listen to a lot of podcasts on there. So I know there's a lot of people who prefer to just listen to podcasts. So that going forward, our episodes and videos will be on Spotify. So it should pop up after I upload this audio only video to Spotify. So make sure to be on the lookout for that. Give us some support there. So Tier's ready to talk some wrestling today?
Sure, let's start.
All right, there's a lot of news going on. We got WarGames around the corner. We had AEW Blood and Guts. There's a lot of fans that are kind of almost overwhelmed because it's basically two WarGames shows in a matter of a month, which I can definitely get why some fans are tired of that. We'll be talking about Blood and Guts a little bit later on. So let's talk about some of the WWE stuff. So Mark Shapiro, who's one of the people in charge of TKO, was recently talking about how they want to get away from Vince McMahon created pay-per-views. And that had a lot of fans upset. There's a lot of fans not really happy about him saying that. And when I first read it, I'm like, okay, what pay-per-views are you going to get away from? Is it going to be the main five, like Money in the Bank, Survivor Series, SummerSlam, Royal Rumble, WrestleMania? Or is it going to be like TLC, Hell in a Cell? We've kind of been getting away from those a little bit anyways, at least Triple H has, with like kind of having more like Bad Blood and stuff like that. But I had a lot of fans kind of questioning, like, okay, what's the product going to be going forward? You're going to get rid of everything Vince created, which is basically what is known for. So, like, when I first read this, for me, like, if you're a casual fan, you know WrestleMania, you know the Royal Rumble, at least those two. SummerSlam, probably most. So, like, you get rid of those, a lot of casual fans, I feel like, are going to be kind of turned off a little bit because they're going to be like, okay, what the hell is this pay-per-view? What is this? To me, it's just going to be a little bit confusing. So, Tiers, what is your takeaway from hearing that?
I mean, if we get rid of stuff like, say, like TLC, Hell in the Cell, and I guess maybe Roadblock, then yeah, I'm okay with getting rid of those because, let's be fair, some of them are either starter pay-per-views or just pay-per-views with the match gimmick, and match gimmick pay-per-views kind of devalued the match because I remember Hell in the Cell, like, we had like a 3 to 4 year streak of every Hell in a Cell match being bad because I believe we had like the Brock interfering in the Braun and Roman one. I think it was that, or was there a cash in? I can't remember. It's so long ago now. And that's just one example. And whereas Roadblock or Fastlane, to me, that legitimately just feels like just a filler pay per view, just to do things. So if they get rid of those, I'm perfectly fine. But if we're getting rid of stuff like WrestleMania, Royal Rumble, Survivor Series, and stuff like that, I'm just like, okay, that's not going to go as well as you think, because those are some big name pay per views. And yeah, WrestlePalooza sold well, but you can't just like rely on WrestlePalooza to be as big as Mania. Like, it doesn't work like that. You got to like keep the main ones, and even keep Money in the Bank. Or, I mean, I know we talked about like moving Money in the Bank to WrestleMania again, but to each. You, once again, that goes with like keeping Mania. So it's one of those to where like it depends on what they're actually getting rid of, because we don't have enough information to like really pinpoint what exactly that means.
Yeah, I agree. Like, there hasn't really been like a full-on, like, plan from their part. So, like, because I see them getting rid of Money in the Bank potentially. Like, Triple H is reportedly not a big fan of Money in the Bank. So, like, would it shock me to be like, yeah, they're gonna get rid of Money in the Bank? No. Like Tier said, could they move it back to WrestleMania? That's been reported a few times, so that could be something they just do and they just get rid of the pay-per-view. Like, that was my main problem. Kind of like what Tier said. Like, I didn't really like Vince just making every pay-per-view a theme. Like, okay, we're only gonna do TLC matches at TLC. We're only gonna do Hell in a Cell matches at Hell in a Cell. We're only gonna do this certain match type. Extreme Rules at Extreme Rules. I didn't like that. And like Hell in a Cell, to me, like, you can make that kind of like with Drew and Punk. Like, it was the big end all of their feud. Like, if you have a big time feud, then yeah, you could do a Hell in a Cell match. You don't have to wait till the Hell in a Cell show to do that match. You could just have it like, you know, if you want to do one at WrestleMania, you could do a Hell in a Cell WrestleMania. Like, I do like stuff like that. But if they're planning on getting rid of all the big name pay-per-views, I just don't really see how that's going to appeal. But TKO, listen, they're not wrestling fans. They bought the company for Vince McMahon. They're not into the show. They don't care about the fans. Prices are outrageous. They keep saying, oh, you know, Vince's way of being family friendly, you know, we're getting away from that. Like, that's not what fans want to hear. And the more stuff they say, the more you think of like how out of touch they are with what the fans really want. And they're all about profits, which I get that's a business, but it's like, that's not going to help the company going forward. Eventually, like, WWE's attendance is already going down. Like, SmackDown had really bad attendance, and we'll get into kind of the overall product of that, AEW, and like just every wrestling company right now. But like, attendance is going down because a lot of people just can't afford to go to these shows. Like, I know, like, for John Cena's final match, it's going to be like 15,000 for what I hear to get a front row seat. I mean, that's just outrageous.
Let's not forget about the one image of SmackDown that's going viral about like the hard cam side being completely empty.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I saw that, and you know, AEW's attendance is not very. I mean, wrestling is kind of a dry thing right now, anyways. But like, yeah, they're just kind of ticketing people out of the shows, and the shows aren't really worth. If the shows were just amazing and they were really worth going to, I would understand. But like, the ticket price is outrageous. So we'll see what the plan is going forward for this. I don't really see them getting rid of all the pay-per-views. It sounded like he just wanted to get rid of every pay-per-view Vince had created, which I don't get how you get rid of WrestleMania. That would just be nonsense. But it's TKO, so I would not be surprised. We'll have to see, though. So Nixon Newell and her girlfriend, Miranda Arize, it's been a huge topic in the wrestling world. They recently walked out of AEW Collision. They did a match before that against Megan Bayne and Marina Shafir. They were reportedly sandbagging Megan Bayne. I saw the German suplex spot. They didn't really, I mean, luckily Megan Bayne's really strong because it looked like she just lifted them both up on her own. They weren't really giving her any support. And they go into Collision the next week. They're supposed to face Ty Mello and Anna Jay. They're told it's going to be 3 minutes. They're not happy about it. They tell them, you know, this doesn't benefit anybody. They walk out. And, you know, there's been a lot of reports about what really happened. I know Nixon Newell and her girlfriend went on. And Nixon Newell was Tegan Knox in WWE, by the way, if anybody doesn't really understand, which I'm sure a lot of y'all have been listening to podcasts about it anyways. But yes, Tegan Knox in WWE. Like, they poorly just were told to go home. They did a Twitch about it saying, like, you know, that wasn't what we were told when we first got there. We were texted the plan. That wasn't really what was supposed to go on. So, like, obviously there's two sides to every story. And there's a lot of details about this, how they just didn't want to have a 3-minute match. They felt like that would enough time to really showcase a lot. But Tiz, what do you think about this whole situation? Are you on Nixon, Newell, Miranda, Arize's side? Are you more on AEW's side of like, listen, you're not really big names. You're more of enhancement talents. That's what you were brought here for. What do you think about this whole situation?
That's a tricky one because on one hand, I am a fan of Nixon Newell. I remember first time watching her, it was in WCPW. If anybody remembers that project. I'm not a fan of like just a simple like strong man like if the match doesn't fit me, brother type mentality. We remember with Sasha Banks and Naomi, like they just walked out. At least Naomi came back, was on good terms. Mercedes Moné is another thing. We'll eventually touch up more on that. But at the same time, it just seems like AEW is not a good place to like communicate with management on matches. Because let's not forget the Jake Hager interview and what's been recently reported with Jericho. Like it just seems like, and let's also not forget about the Punk one either. Like a long time ago, it just seems like it's AEW is just not for everybody.
And not to cut you off real quick, but like to kind of add more detail, Nixon Newell was saying she couldn't get any bookings on the indies. Like she was struggling. So like
I heard about that, yeah.
Yeah, like to come in here and be like, oh, I'm not gonna do this. Like you're not really getting a lot of bookings, and you're getting on national TV. You shouldn't really be too picky, but my bad. Go ahead.
Well, no, I'm glad you brought that up too, because it kind of like goes with like the whole like the long term rumor to where like the moment you leave WWE wants to try to ruin you. And I wouldn't really say they purposefully tried to ruin her when she was taking on, because injuries, that's one thing. But it's just one of those things to where leaving WWE when you're in a spot on their card, like how Nixon Newell was, doesn't look favorable to you. But this attitude also does not help either. So it's just like you're just making it more complicated than what it needs to be. Like at the I don't want to say this term because it's really I personally feel like it's disrespectful to say this, but at the end of the day, this is a job. You are doing a job. You would be fired instantly if you were like this, depending on the place of work. So I I don't want to say, but this don't work for me, brother.
Yeah, I mean she's not a big enough name to really be kind of this picky. And her girlfriend Miranda Arize, I've never even heard of her. So I mean, for her to, I know she's with her, so she's gonna do what she says and all that. But it's like you're not a big enough name to be acting like that. Nobody even knows who you are. And it's like indie
Interesting, because
promoters.
she used
Oh,
Nixon Newell before coming to WWE was pretty big in the UK scene.
oh
So it's
yeah,
just like it seems like the WWE like road did not help her. In fact, it hindered her career from what it looks like to me.
yeah, it definitely hurt her a lot. There was an indie promoter who I think it was like 2 days ago recently, like said like she has WWE brain rot where she thinks, oh, I was on WWE TV, I was on WWE, I should get paid this, I shouldn't do jobs, like all
Mm.
that. Do you think sometimes like because it seems like Andrade's kind of been like this too, where you're like in WWE and you think you kind of deserve more than what you actually get? Do you think that's a possibility with her? Like she was like, okay, I was on WWE TV, I should be getting this amount of money, I should be getting booked more, I should be doing that. And in reality, she wasn't
Do I
really.
need to bring up people like Damian Sandow,
Yeah.
Matt Riddle, Brodus Clay, Alberto Del Rio? Do I need to bring up more?
Oh, they're all valid. I mean, like here's the thing, like just because you're on WWE TV doesn't mean you're a big star or you deserve more than anybody else. Like she had a lot of injuries, like you said. She had a okay run in NXT. She just had too many injuries. I mean, she did say this is her last year wrestling, so maybe in her mind she thinks she deserves better. I don't know, but it's like to me,
Where's
that
somebody retiring this year?
yeah, like to me, it's just there's so many wrestlers that are dying to get on TV in AEW, and you get an opportunity to actually get on TV, and they're not even actually contracted to the company either. Like, so you're not contracted. You're getting on TV back to back weeks, and there's a whole locker room back there who can't even get on TV for an appearance. Like, you're kind of getting better treatment than most. Like, yes, it's a 3 minute match, but you're
At
facing
least it's a match.
exactly like Keith Lee can't get a match.
I forgot he was still in AEW.
Exactly. Like, there's a lot of people you forget about. Like, you know, it's better treatment than what a lot of other people get, and it's like I feel like she's kind of letting her ego kind of get the best of her there. I heard Cornette say like maybe there's a miscommunication, which it sounded like there was. Maybe Tony Khan or whoever was booking the producer or whatever told them something else, and then it changed when they
It
got
does. It does seem like that happens a lot, though, to where like talking
there.
with Tony Khan kind of like leads to one thing to another, as we'll get to later on about how Tony Khan says things.
Yeah, yeah, we'll get to that in a few. But yeah, I mean, this whole situation's a mess. Are they going to get booked again? I mean, I'm sure there's some wrestling company out there that come calling. I don't see.
MLW.
Yeah, I mean, possibility. WWE's not going to get them. AEW's done with them. TNA, I mean, that's possibility. I mean, I don't know. I mean, there's a lot of egos in wrestling, so this isn't the first time something like this is going to happen. There's happened plenty of times in the past where somebody didn't want to put someone over or do a job or whatever the case. So it is what it is. Hopefully they find something they like to do since their last year in wrestling. I don't know how long our girlfriend Miranda Arize is going to continue to wrestle, but we'll see. So, I mean, it's been a tricky situation. So Daniel Bryan, which he's now a commentator for AEW, which he's done in a solid job. He had the Yes Movement a few years ago where they had him lose a lot, and he was that underdog, and he kept, losing, and he eventually won at WrestleMania. And it feels like ever since that happened, a lot of companies are kind of trying to replicate that formula of like, okay, we're going to have somebody just keep losing and losing and losing and losing, and eventually they'll just get over and win and be the underdog. And it can work with certain wrestlers, not everybody. I know there's a lot of fans upset about Mike Santana dropping the TNA World title over the weekend, I think last night, to Frankie Kazarian.
Yes.
Kazarian's never been TNA World Champion. But again, is that really benefiting anybody, having him drop it to an older wrestler like that? You can debate that. But now TNA is running with the story of like, oh, he ain't showing up to tapings. He's pissed off. He's not happy with this. Like, they're trying to make it a story like, kind of like Daniel Bryan, it seems like, where he's just going to keep being that guy who has to keep fighting for everything and fighting underneath and all this other stuff. And it seems like WWE tries to do that a lot too, where they have somebody just lose and lose and lose, and there's going to be a payoff to this. I mean, maybe that's the plan with LA Knight. I don't know. I've heard Triple H don't like LA Knight and the way he's booked. You could definitely say that argument. It just seems like a lot of companies are trying to replicate the Daniel Bryan story, and it's not going to work for everybody. So, Tears, what do you think about that? I've seen a lot of people tweeting and commenting like that the Daniel Bryan Yes Movement ruined wrestling booking.
I do want to point out this isn't the first time TNA tried copying that, because they did the same thing with Eric Young in the past. I feel like there was a female equivalent once. I can't remember who it was, but it was either WWE or TNA. One of the two did it for a female wrestler. I don't personally want to say that this, like, the Daniel Bryan Yes Movement ruined it, because I feel like the storyline isn't new. I want to say we've seen this before. I want to honestly say, like, we probably saw this back in the 80s, maybe? I know Shawn Michaels was over, Bret Hart was over, Austin was over, but they kind of won instead of lost, but that's kind of like more that kind of falls more to where, like, fan popularity versus company popularity type stuff. I'll put it this way: Daniel Bryan is the best analogy to use for it nowadays. But this type of storyline booking has been a thing in the past. It's just more popular now, unfortunately. So that's probably the best way I can put it. It's now used more.
Yeah, I mean, is there benefits to doing it? Yes. You don't want to overdo it. But I feel like a lot of companies have overdone it. It feels like Triple H really relies on it with his booking, which his booking's been all over the place lately. I don't know if TKO has their fingerprints involved or he's just kind of got lazy. I don't know, but we'll get into that more later. The Daniel Bryan story obviously paid off. I don't know if TNA is really going to have that really pay off for Mike Santana. I mean, obviously he's the guy they're rolling with. Do I see him eventually going to WWE? Yes. TNA is, like we said, pretty much just a WWE. I think we talked about this actually before the video, but TNA is pretty much just like a WWE developmental system at this point. Like, they're pretty much just seeing what they got there. And as soon as our contract's up, okay, we're going to get Joe Hendry, we're going to get Jordan Grace, we're going to get Leon Slater, Mike Santana, which, I mean, it is what it is. TNA can't really compete with WWE and AEW when it comes to money. So maybe this Mike Santana's leaving the company. I don't know. Maybe he pulled a Cedric Alexander and signed a short-term deal and he's going to be leaving soon. That's a possibility. But it just seems like an odd move to have him lose and then go with this story of like, okay, he lost, now we're going to have him fight again. I mean, he just kind of did this already where he couldn't get over the hump for a few months. He eventually won the title, had a 2-month reign. Now he's already lost. TNA just has odd booking. I don't know what's going on. It seems like ever since Scott D'Amore got out of there, it's just been kind of hectic when it comes to booking. He kind of knew what he was doing. Now he has Maple Leaf Pro Wrestling, which if you guys have not checked that out, definitely give it a look. I really enjoy the overall show. There's a lot of AEW talent, New Japan talent. They kind of have a little bit of everybody on the show, so it's really good to watch if you guys ever want to have another company to watch. But Scott D'Amore was very well liked in the back. especially by someone like Josh Alexander, was like their main guy at the time. Now he went to AEW, and unfortunately, a lot of people are talking about him in Ibushi's spot where Ibushi got seriously hurt, and that's been a huge topic that we talked about. I don't know. I mean, the Daniel Bryan story was good. I don't think it's going to have the same payoff for everybody like they think, but it could work in certain situations. Maybe like a Maxine Dupree, who they're kind of doing that with. I mean, she got to win over Becky, and she's kind of that underdog who nobody thinks has a chance, and then she's winning. I don't know. It's an interesting topic, but we'll have to see how the Mike Santana thing turns out and how he gets the AEW World Title back or TNA World Title back if he ends up doing that. So we'll see. So speaking of AEW, Blood and Guts happened, and it was a lot of blood for sure. I watched it. It was brutal, to say the least. I mean, there was a lot of blood, a lot of crazy spots. I mean, the women's match was probably more brutal than the men's, to be honest. I mean, it was pretty gnarly. If you have a light stomach, I would recommend not watching it. If you haven't yet, it was, call it the bloodiest AEW show. I mean, Sky Blue was just drenched in blood. I mean, she looked like it was quite a scene, to say the least. And I like Sky Blue. I think she's very talented. Her and her boyfriend, Kyle Fletcher, definitely have a bright future in the business. But it was brutal. And this is after Tony Khan recently said, oh, yeah, we have a family-friendly show here at AEW, and I agree with the ticket prices. The ticket prices are definitely more affordable. But to say your show is a family-friendly product when you have wrestling drenched in blood and Moxley doing crazy shit and you got Darby doing all this stuff, and I don't know if it's a family-friendly product. So, Tears, what do you think about AEW having a lot of blood on Blood and Guts and Tony Khan saying it's a friendly product, family-friendly product, I should say?
I'm gonna be real. Of course, we should have blood on a pay-per-view called Blood and Guts. I mean, what I will say, like, oh my god, two war game pay-per-view, Blood and Guts and Survivor Series both having war games. Like, why are we doing this on two different companies? Whatever. That's a totally different topic for another day if this continues. You can't just call your show family friendly and then do this. It goes with what we were just saying about like Tony Khan says one thing and it kind of means jack, really, because he called it product family friendly, and then you put this on. And I get like the arguments where like, oh, this is not a show. This was a PLE pay-per-view, a special event, whatever you want to call it.
It was a regular Dynamite.
It was a regular. Oh my god! Why was this? Oh my god! I thought it was a special show. That's how crazy it was. I'd say it's better to say AEW's like PG-14. That I will not call the show family friendly at all. Is it? Yeah, TV-14 is probably the bare minimum I'll give you. But that's like the equivalent of saying like, watch, like if we were to do it movie-wise, like describe it as a movie, it's like watching, it's somewhere in between The Conjuring and the most brutal slasher, like Jason movie you can think of. Like it's around there, where WWE is a family-friendly one. No matter what they try to do nowadays, it's family-friendly. It's meant to be watched by anybody. AEW certainly is not, considering all the stuff we've also seen, not just from Blood and Guts, but also, let's not forget the Edge / Adam Copeland, whatever you want to call him. I'm going to call him Edge versus Jon Moxley match. Do I need to explain more on that one?
No. Yeah, agree with pretty much everything you just said. Not a family-friendly product at all. I mean, watch it. I don't think kids should be watching AEW personally. I mean,
absolutely not. That whole like thing about like don't try this at home. Don't do it. Anything that you see on AEW.
Yeah, that's kind of my problem with it. Like you're saying, it's family friendly. A lot of people attempt what they see, so especially kids. Like, okay, you're having Moxley get slammed on thumb or nails or whatever that was.
Just anything. Just insert whatever you want.
Yeah, like thumbtacks. I believe Marina Shafir did something with like stomping her foot on glass that was broken.
Mm-hmm.
And that's not family friendly. I mean, a lot of kids see this stuff and are like, "Oh yeah, let me try stomp my foot on glass or getting slammed on this." And you know,
Hey, Mom, watch me! I'm gonna dive backwards onto a table.
yeah, like it's just not. Like I get it's a more wrestling eccentric company and they do a lot of more extreme stuff and they want to be different than WWE, which I mean they're kind of set in their audience, which is not a good thing. But at this point, AEW is not drawing like they should, and it's because shit like this. A lot of people don't like that stuff. I know we saw it in ECW. You could debate whether ECW was a huge success when they were kind of low on money and Vince was poorly.
But that was the product of the time, though, too.
Yeah, like
that
exactly.
was something that people were looking for at that time.
Mm-hmm.
Nowadays, it's not really about the hardcore scene. I know people want it; they want it so bad, but you gotta realize people are not hungry for it nowadays as they were then. We have ZCW, MLW. We have companies that do the ECW thing. You don't need every company to be ECW.
No, especially like you're on national TV with, a lot of fans forget this. You have rules you're supposed to follow. Like, is Warner Brothers Discovery happy with this being on national TV? I mean, apparently they were not happy with Jericho using a pizza cutter during a pizza commercial at one time. So, like, I mean, I don't know how they'd be happy about this. Sky Blue being drenched in blood. I mean, she was drenched. Look up a picture of it if y'all get a time. I mean, it was, it was crazy. I don't know if she bladed too much or what on her head or what, but it was gnarly.
I'll ask this. Do you think this is worse than when the JBL Eddie Guerrero match where Eddie accidentally cut an artery in his head?
It's close, but I don't know. I don't know exactly what Sky Blue did, but she was covered in blood. I mean, it was pretty close to that for sure. But yeah, I mean, listen, AW, listen, Tony Khan's got all the money in the world. He's going to keep funding this company, but you got to eventually draw a new audience, and they're pretty much stuck at 700 to 800,000 viewers each show, and that's not really what you want to be at, especially when you're paying wrestlers so much money. And Warner Brothers Discovery is apparently in talks to sell Max and maybe Netflix, or actually Warner Brothers Discovery might sell their whole company in general, and like Netflix might buy it. If they buy it, they have WWE and AEW on their streaming. That'd be something. But I don't know. Like AEW to me needs to do something different. I know they have a lot of wrestlers hurt right now. They have Logan Paul.
I wonder why.
Yeah, like I don't know. It's a tough product to watch sometimes. It ain't like WWE's any better. We'll get into that at our final topic. But speaking of Logan Paul, Stevie Richards had something to say. They got a lot of fans talking. He said Logan Paul is better than the whole AEW roster. And his co-host James was like, he's better than Swerve, Will Ospreay, Kenny Omega. He didn't mention MJF, but then Stevie Richards was like as a character, and even then I can't really agree. MJF's a better character than Logan Paul in my opinion. Like, and to me, it's like Logan Paul's not really playing a character; he's just being Logan Paul. I don't even think he has a script when he goes out there. They just say, oh, "Okay, go out there and be you. Just be this unlikable douchebag that is great." And I like Logan Paul in WWE. I think he's done a fine job, but he also gets a lot more time to train for matches. He gets a lot more time to prepare for this stuff. He's not on TV every single week, which I think is a good thing. But there's benefits to him compared to everybody else. Like we see, when Ospreay was wrestling him every week and stuff like that, we don't see Logan Paul every week. So he has more preparation. Stevie Richards was getting a lot of heat for this. Someone said, just take his microphone away. This is a horrible take. So, Tears, what do you think about Stevie Richards saying this?
Oh, you were just thinking about that because, like, going into this, I 100% agreed with you. Like, this is not a good take. But while you were talking, I was like thinking about that more. I'm just like, now hold up. I think I might know why he said that. And it's because, like you said, like he has more time to train. He has more time to prepare. And I think what Stevie might mean, once again, I'm not talking for him, and I highly doubt Stevie Richards will be acknowledging this. Maybe he does, maybe he doesn't. I don't know. But I think his point was, well, Logan Paul is one of those people to where like if he has the opportunity to like train and learn, he is going to do it. He is the type of guy to put in the effort and put in the work to make sure everything goes smoothly, which I can kind of see. Because remember when he was U.S. champion, he took that belt everywhere for like marketing for W or showcasing for WWE, like and all that. So I think what he meant, like he is maybe. Now, once again, I do not agree. I think AEW wrestlers are better than Logan Paul, but the argument is, I think Logan Paul, for any company that he's in, is great for publicity in a way. Maybe, kind of, considering current drama and stuff. Um, but he knows how to put all his effort into being a wrestler. So I think that's what it is. Like, Logan Paul is just good at making sure the job is done.
So I definitely could see that argument. Like, sometimes Hugh Richard doesn't really give detail about what he's talking about with certain topics, but like better than the whole AEW roster. Like, I don't know if he's saying that because AEW roster doesn't draw as much. I mean, Logan Paul's on the big platform. He's already a big name. I don't know if that's what he's referring to. It's tough because it's like sometimes you can't punish the talent for the banner run. It's like me talking about like an NBA team and going like, oh, well, this player isn't that good because they're on a bad team. Like, you know, they could, if they were on a better platform, a better team, would they be better? So it's like if you put MJF in WWE, he'd probably be on Logan Paul's level, not in terms of popularity, but in terms of everything else. Like, I feel like sometimes everybody punishes a talent because they're not drawing or whatever. Like, nobody's going to draw on AEW at this point. It just is what it is. People know what the product is. You signed all these big names. It's just not going to draw. So I don't know if that's what Stevie's referring to. I know Logan Paul's character is good, but like MJF's up there with him. I mean, you can make an argument for either one, but it's like he's making it seem like it's just full on. Just he's better than everybody on the AEW roster. It's not even close. Like I just don't agree. I just think that's not a very good take in my opinion. There's a lot of talent on the AEW roster that gets punished because of the bad booking or just the bad ratings or whatever the case. And that's just, to me, not fair because they're not the ones booking the shows. They're not the ones who made AEW what it is, unfortunately. So it's an interesting topic for sure. And Logan Paul is a hell of a talent. He should be a great addition to the WarGames match. He is on the team with Bronson Reed, Braun Breaker, and Drew against Cody, the Usos, and Punk, which is a lot of debate on who the fifth member should be. So let's get into that real quick. Who should be the fifth member on each team real quick? I've been talking about a lot of this, people with work. I've heard Brock for Team Vision, and then I've heard Reigns for Team Babyface. Is that who you see entering? Do you see maybe someone like an Austin Theory who I've heard tossed around? Who could you see join each team as the fifth and final member?
Wow, putting me on the spot right then and there. Great, thanks. So hear me out. Follow me on this one. I was watching earlier today, Wrestle Talk, one of their TLC things, to where they do a 3 words or less about like predicting Survivor Series, and one of them was like if Brock Lesnar was in the War Games match, which honestly, at this point, it's the only thing you can do with him right now because Brock Lesnar, he wanted John Cena, he beat John Cena. Okay, is that it for Brock? I highly doubt it. Plus it's the main storyline right now, so might as well add Brock Lesnar. But it will be fun to see Braun Breaker spear Brock Lesnar, whether it's like a teammate or what, because Brock kind of just does what he. And also, let's not forget there was that like segment on Raw. I think it was Raw, where Brock and Heyman like cross paths in the backstage, and then Brock was just like, let's talk sometime, or we need to talk, or something like that. So maybe Brock for Team Vision, and then Braun Breaker's just like, yeah, that ain't gonna work for me. And spears Brock Lesnar. That would be so funny and so amusing. We'll see about that, but I really hope that does happen. And for team face,
You kind of have to go with Reigns, don't you? I mean, I don't really. I mean, he kind of has ties to everybody involved in the match. I mean, who else really could you go with? But like,
did you say Rollins was in this? I can't remember.
oh, Rollins is out 6-8 months. He's done.
Could be another work.
I mean, there was talk about them putting Cena and Reigns in the match, but that would just be way too much. That's why they're not doing that. I think Cena's supposed to be on the show, just not in this. So
We'll see. Maybe there's
there's just not a lot of options. I mean, LA Knight would make a lot of sense, but it just seems like he's got heat because the sign he picked up from the crowd that got him a lot of heat. Apparently, like maybe him.
That went viral. Come on now.
Yeah, apparently it pissed off Triple H for what I've heard, which is.
I mean, I can honestly understand that though. But,
Yeah.
Oh God, no! If you do Reigns, and that means like we potentially will have a Brock and Reigns in the same ring again.
Yep.
That'll get a pop, but will it work at one turn though?
I don't know. Like the argument a lot of people have with me, like when I mentioned Brock, is like, well, how is Brock going to get eliminated in this match? Like Brock doesn't take a lot of how are you going to get him eliminated
By the Braun Spear. Wait,
yeah.
WarGames? You don't get eliminated in WarGames.
Who pins him?
You don't.
Punk, Reigns. Who gets the pin on him? You think?
Well, here's the thing. Remember, WarGames doesn't do elimination, isn't it? Just like every teammate gets in the ring, and then all of a sudden, hey, we match starts.
Yeah, it's 5. So yeah, Brock doesn't need to take the pin. So it's either going to be Brock Reed or Theory if he. Well, now probably Bronson Reed takes the pin. So yeah, so I mean, Brock being ain't the worst thing in the world. He can enter last. He doesn't have to do a lot. He can go in there and just F5 and German everybody, and then do what he do. So yeah,
do we do?
Yep. Brock and Reigns is definitely my prediction. I don't really see anybody else. I mean, Theory would make sense to a degree if you want to go somebody younger and really need something to do.
Yeah, but that also just feels like a little too random.
Yeah, like because you already got Logan Paul, who's kind of random on this team, so it's gonna be interesting. I mean, I usually like War Games. It don't compete with NXT War Games. I think those are just untouchable at this point.
I just realized there's a reason why this makes more sense for it to be Brock and Reigns. Because both world champions are in this match.
Mm-hmm.
And we know those two need those titles. We know those two, you can't have them on WWE product unless they're in the world title scene.
Oh, yeah, for sure. And Reigns has issues with pretty much with everybody on the face team besides Jimmy at the moment. So that could be interesting. Him and Cody on the same team, him and Punk on the same team. Him and Jay have had their issues after Jay speared him and he lost to Reed because of it.
But we had one War Games where Reigns and Punk were on the same team.
Oh, yeah.
I think that was last year's.
Hasn't the Bloodline been in every single main roster War Games? Which I'm not complaining, by the way, because I'm just like in every NXT War Game.
No, we had one Judgment Day. We had one Judgment Day one.
Oh, yeah, where Randy came back. Yeah, that's right.
I think that was the
Randy could be on the face team. Would you hate that if it was Randy?
I feel like I think that's another argument for the Theory thing, to where like that's just another random dude. That's just too random.
I guess. I mean, Drew's on the heel. I mean, he has a rival with Drew and him and Cody. I mean, I guess there's some tie, but yeah, I get what you're saying.
I mean, isn't Drew in a feud on SmackDown with someone?
Yeah,
am I crazy?
Even with Cody, but now he's in the War Games match on the heel team. Which I don't like Drew's booking right now. I just feel like he loses too much and it just really hurt him.
Yeah, I saw a meme where like top 3 people that the Triple H era has badly booked, and 2 of them was LA Knight and Drew. I can't remember who the third one was.
Probably Theory, maybe, but
maybe, but I don't feel like anything's different with how Theory's been on the main roster so far.
I don't know, because Vince was booking him like a main event guy, and then Triple H was like, "Nah, you're losing the Money in the Bank cash in. You're going to be throwing a tag team with Waller, and that's the end of it." Because Vince was like really high on. I mean, he saw him as like the next John Cena, like to that level. And then,
sure, but he did have such cheesy bad like storylines.
Yeah, with the Tyler Breeze stuff
and the egg.
Yeah, that was just. So let's talk about the John Cena My Last Time Is Now tournament. It's currently going on. there's a lot of people with past history with Cena. There's some young up-and-coming talent, Von Evans in it, Gunther. There's some names. I think a lot of people aren't really impressed. I mean, Zack Ryder came back last night and was opponent for LA Knight, which is some
It was a
fans
good match.
criticizing Cardona because he said, "Oh, I'm never going back to Zack Ryder." And I heard it's a one. If it's a one-off, I understand it because the history with Cena is as Zack Ryder, and this is kind of a tournament for Cena, so I can understand why he came back for this tournament. But he has been going as Matt Cardona in NXT. So if he does sign, I don't know what he's going to be doing there. There's a lot of past history. Rusev, Miz, who recently lost, a lot of people aren't happy about. Nakamura, who lost. Sheamus, that could be maybe a sleeper pick to face Cena. I mean, that was Sheamus' first big WWE title win against Cena. So, Tears, is there anybody in mind that you want to see win, or do you think Gunther is the most logical choice to win this whole tournament?
Do you know what's bad? I just remembered a problem with it. If everybody's mad that the Miz lost, and I understand it, I'm one of them. However, the moment you said that, something just registered in my brain. Miz and Cena never have good matches, so there is that. I really don't want it to be Jay, but with how Jay is booked, it could be him. I really want it to be LA Knight, because I feel like Gunther. Do we really need Cena versus Gunther? I mean, would that really be something the fans want? I have a friend of mine who is, in my opinion, a little bit too over for Gunther. Like saying, no, Gunther wins. No, I want Gunther to win. It's one of those. He's one of those type of people. You know what I'm trying to say? To where if he's in it, I want him to win it type guy. Yeah, and I'm kind of just like,
sure. He's a big Gunther guy, a big Gunther fan. Sure.
Yeah, but one of those who were Gunther should win everything type people, and I'm just like, that's kind of going. That's probably for people to understand. That's probably going to negatively impact Gunther for me, considering I hear that too much.
Yeah.
But I would say I would like LA Knight to win because it kind of goes since commentary is now acknowledging that LA Knight feels a little underappreciated, underutilized. So if LA Knight was to win it, then if they were to continue underutilizing him, it will be well, he beat John Cena. He's proven that he can do it, but he's not getting the opportunity. So that would go for that. Or maybe there'll be a moment where, this will be his big break if he beats John Cena. This will be the momentum that he needs to ride. I really don't want to say, but I think they might have Jey Uso win it. I feel like the semifinals is going to be Jey Uso, Gunther, Jey wins.
I really hope not. Jey and Cena's last match would be so awful.
I hate it too, but it's just WWE booking. I unfortunately can see it. Do you really see anybody on either side being able to beat Gunther or Jey Uso? Look at the competitors.
And that was kind of my next comment is how is Gunther? The problem is with Gunther being in the tournament is I just feel like he's kind of the obvious winner because he doesn't lose it at all hardly. So it's who will
unless it's against Jay.
If Jay beats Gunther again, oh man, that would be so awful. Please don't do that. WWE's fascination with Jey Uso has to be studied. Triple H will push this guy who is botching neck breakers from CM Punk. Jey has really took a step back in the ring. I don't know what's happened to him. I know he's gotten older, but
I heard he was drunk during that match.
Yeah, there's a lot of theories about that. Maybe he's hanging out with Jada Parker too much. I don't know what's going on with him, but when you botch that move from Punk, I've never seen anybody actually botch that move. And it's just
he was trying to turn into a DDT. I was
yeah,
what the?
He turned the opposite way. It's just that's just a simple neck break. You just turn and lay on your back. What? I don't know. WWE, I get it. The live crowds are lit for Jey Uso, and they really like him, and the Yeet movement and all that. But the internet crowd hate the guy. I mean, it's just been constant just negativity about him. I think it
just needs to be a fine line in the middle between internet and live.
Yeah, because I think WWE thinks, oh, everybody's doing the yeet. And they're so excited and all this. It's just like, yeah, but most of them are casual. A lot of the fans that go to shows are casual fans. They don't even know what's going on anyway with the
To be
product.
fair, you can't even get those anymore with these prices.
Yeah, that too. But yeah, I don't want Jay. I don't really know because Cena wants to put somebody over, but it's like Gunther's already been a world champion, so you're not really putting him over. Like I know Gunther's going with this whole kind of Randy Orton legend killer thing where he beat Goldberg and he's kind of retiring people, and I mean I guess it would make sense to a degree, but it's like he doesn't really gain anything from it to me. Like if Cena's gonna put somebody over, have him face Oba Femi or somebody like that, like somebody who's just getting up to the main roster who could really use a big win. His first big wins against John Cena, like that to me is what would be worth it. Like Gunther doesn't need a win over John Cena. It doesn't do anything for him. It's like when Reigns beat Taker at Mania. Like it didn't do anything for him. Even when Brock beat him, like it didn't really do much. Like it's just I don't know. Like I give Cena credit though because he pretty much told WWE like put all NXT stars on the Saturday night's main event. He wants to give a lot of people opportunity to get TV time and stuff. So he deserves a lot of credit for that. We'll see who wins though. LA Knight's definitely a sleeper pick. Maybe Sheamus. As long as they ain't Jey Uso, I'm happy. I will not watch Jey Uso against John Cena. I refuse. Jey is just awful in the ring at this point. All he does is super kicks, Samoan drop, a spear he can't even hit properly. Like it's just a mess with him. So we'll see. But final topic as we wrap up this episode is wrestling in a boring state currently, and both shows haven't really had anything exciting going on for a while now. 2024 was definitely WWE's peak year. It's definitely taken a hit in 2025. AEW really not been good for a while now. I think a lot of it has to do with like getting too comfortable. I think WWE got too comfortable thinking, okay, we hit our peak. This peak period is going to stay like level high for a long time. It's not going to fall off, which, everything falls off at a certain point. Like both shows and New Japan's not doing well right now. TNA, I mean, we talked about their booking and some of their decision making. It just feels like wrestling this year, it's kind of been a boring year for wrestling, in my opinion. Like, I've heard a lot of comments saying the same thing. Like, it's just not really been a lot going on. The debate they botched the Cena heel turn and really messed up his retirement tour. Blame the Rock. There's argument like Roman Reigns lost his title and that's what hurt WWE, and I mean maybe you can make that argument. AEW just hasn't done anything to really catch your attention, really. Like, and to me, what's really hurting both shows is I just feel like it's kind of just the same talents featured all the time. There's nothing really new. WWE's reportedly going to call up a few people. They called up Lash Legend on SmackDown, so she's getting an opportunity, which they need some new women on SmackDown anyways. Like, it just feels like wrestling is kind of a boring period right now. It's not always going to be hot, obviously, but it just feels like this year has been very just meh in terms of stories, in terms of matches. It's just not really been anything that's going to be remembered 10 years from now. It's happened this year. So, Tiz, what do you think about that?
I feel like everything we said throughout this whole podcast kind of sums it up to where like I can kind of agree. I mean, to be fair, wrestling always has that like moment to where like it downhill to where like kind of born this year. Like I believe for a lot of people, the 2010s, like 2010 to 2015 was a bad year. 2015, I believe, was it? Oh God, you probably remember this, but what was the time period to where like I just completely dropped off wrestling for like a year or so? I can't remember.
Was it 2019, 2018?
It might have been 2019 because I can't remember anything that happened.
One of those years was really bad, like either 2017, 18, or 19. It might have been all three were bad in a way, but like, what year did Reigns do that dog food thing where they had Corbin and whoever? I mean, that was just a horrible year. I mean, even Reigns was like, he's going to retire after doing that. I believe
Might have been
like right before he took his break and became a heel. I think it was.
I feel like it before even then. I feel like that.
Yeah, 17. I think there's a lot of I can't really disagree. It was a lot of just bad stuff. So yeah, I think that was the time you were just kind of tuned out and not.
Yeah, I think that's the best way to describe it. To where like we've had worse years. I would say like currently, like they're not like the worst of worst years. There's still stuff that could probably be entertaining, but it's just like there's getting a mellow point right now. We're not in a like, oh, this is so cool, this is so hype moment, and we're not in a, all right, I'm done. I'll see you guys when you're popular again type stuff. We're just we're like in a lukewarm phase of wrestling right now.
Yeah, there's not really anything that you like that's must see. Like sometimes, like I work overnight, so sometimes I sleep before I go, so I miss the show. It depends how I'm feeling that day. Sometimes I'll catch them, sometimes I'll just watch highlights after the show, or if I have to do a video or short or TikTok about it, I'll do that. But there's not really a lot. Like I tried watching the AEW show the other week, not the Blood and Guts, but the show before that. I couldn't even watch the whole show. It was just the same stuff, the same people, the same matches. This whole Moxley group is just not it for me. I'm not a big John Moxley fan as it is. I just think he's boring as hell. And this whole group with Wheeler Yuta and Claudio and Miranda Shafir just isn't doing it for me. Miranda Shafir, my bad. I keep calling him Miranda. I don't know why. Just not doing it for me. I mean, I know, and they're missing a lot of top guys, obviously, with Ospreay out, Swerve and Omega, and the list goes on. MJF's currently not there, so they're missing a lot of the big names. But it's just like,
yeah, they debut a new title.
That too, yeah, the one that's tag titles they don't need because they barely.
Oh, I was talking about the national belts.
Oh, that they're debuting 2 new titles. They just debuted. They're doing a tournament for the new women's tag titles. So it's just way too many titles. Hard to care about a lot of stuff. The matches are good, but I mean, I can go anywhere and watch good matches. And you have WWE who have like, Triple H is saying we don't book to have good matches. We book for story. Which, I mean, WWE can barely even book a good story right now. So I mean, for him to say that, I mean, I don't know. It's just not a lot for me to get invested as a fan right now. Obviously, we do the channel and everything, so I'm still gonna watch. And I love doing the content. I'm not just doing this to do it. I mean, I love what I do, but it's like, I don't know. I mean, that's kind of like with Joe Hendry. Like everybody's so excited about him signing with WWE. I don't really know if I should be excited because where does he fit in? Is he just gonna fall into the same trap of like, okay, this guy? So I'll ask you this to wrap it up. So I did a video about this. If you guys want to go check it out, it's on the channel. Basically saying like Joe Hendry is like, he's cool because people haven't seen him every week. How is he going to be when fans see him every week? Are people going to get tired of him quickly? Do you think that's a possibility? Because at first it was just seeing his song on TikTok and him appearing occasionally. Do you think that's a potential downfall for him being a full-time WWE guy? Like people are going to see his gimmick more often and kind of get tired of it more in a way?
I know currently they say his name, he appears, shit is good. But let's also not forget, like, this, because he's always just been, like, he sings his theme song in a very catchy way. So it's like, if, yeah, he's going to be popular with the say his name, like, for a while, but he is capable of evolving past that, too. So I would say if he can keep it new and, like, just don't expect to say his name to stay as long as you think.
Yeah, hopefully it don't, because it ain't gonna last. Because everything has a hot period in wrestling, and we'll see if he continues to ride that hot hand. But yeah, we'll see. I mean, WWE has signed a lot of talent. We'll see how they do it. hopefully you guys enjoyed this episode of the LTQ Wrestling Podcast. Make sure to like and subscribe. Checking us out on Spotify. Make sure to follow. Appreciate the support as always. Peace.